Hello, Mrs. Smith. It is nice to see you, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself and to further explain the limits of confidentiality that you signed before, but I just wanted to explain that a little bit more further in depth, if that's okay with you. So, first of all, my name is Jessica Updegraff, and I am an intern in behavioral health here at SOWK Medical Center at Fort Campbell, and we service the military community to include the civilians that work for the military, the active duty, the reserves, the family members, just anyone that is incorporated in the military community. That's who we serve. I'm currently pursuing my master's of social work at Liberty University, and I just wanted to again go over the limits of confidentiality, and if anytime you have any questions, feel free to ask. So, limits of confidentiality, the first thing I just want to explain a little bit about confidentiality itself. The most important thing for our relationship is for us to have trust where you feel like you can be transparent and you understand that anything outside of the limits of confidentiality that's disclosed today, I will not be speaking outside of our sessions about them. It's important to have a trusting relationship, and it's foundational to the care that I can provide for you. So it's not something that I take lightly. And I just want you to know that that's of the utmost importance to me. So one thing that I want to talk about with the limits of confidentiality is mandated reporting. So in the state of Tennessee, everyone is a mandated reporter. It doesn't have to be a social worker. It doesn't have to be a healthcare worker. Anyone is required to report on certain situations. And some of those situations could be if there's child abuse or elderly abuse or something along those lines. Does that make sense? Okay, good. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is my duty to warn and protect. So I don't know if you're very familiar with chaplains in the military community, because that's an option as well for behavioral care. And so with chaplains, they have 100% confidentiality, which states that no matter what, they're not, they have a regulation stating that they cannot break confidentiality. For social workers, we have the duty to warn and protect. And basically what that says is that if it's imminent that someone is going to harm themselves or possibly harm another person, then it would be my responsibility to contact someone, to notify someone to help in that situation. Does that make sense? Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about as far as the limits of confidentiality would be if the records that I have with you in our sessions, if they got subpoenaed. So in some court cases, sometimes it can be with child court cases or just certain situations. If there is a request for the notes from our sessions, I would be obligated to hand those over if they were subpoenaed. But again, this is something I want to talk to you about, and it's something that would be discussed before that would ever take place. And then the last thing that I kind of want to touch about is supervision and consultation. So as your provider, it is my commitment to provide the best care for you. And sometimes that could include speaking to my supervisor or consulting with those that could possibly have different solutions than what I'm seeing. Again, this would be for your care, and it would not be to break trust, and it would be to better your care under our relationship. So with all of that, I just want you to know, more than anything, your care and trust is my utmost concern. It is so important to me. If there is a situation that could possibly arise there where it looks to be necessary to notify others, I will let you know beforehand. It's not going to be something that you're going to be caught off guard with, or that, someone comes to you and approaches you and you don't know anything about it. I would let you know beforehand, and I would remind you of this conversation, that this is part of the limits of confidentiality. So I just wanted to go over those things with you, and I look forward to working with you. Did you have any questions for me about anything that I communicated? Could I talk about anything any more than I've talked about? Okay, well, once again, I look forward to working with you, and thank you for this opportunity.